Hi everyone, happy Friday. So, while I did have a weak moment and order two coloring books yesterday, I don't think they'll be here either late next week or the week after. I have a feeling I probably am not going to be buying a whole ton of coloring books here in the very near future. So I decided I hadn't really done this before. I've seen other people do it, but I figured I would take it and kind of convert it to Flip Through Fridays. Um, I figured we could use this time and do like a 2020 coloring book collection Flip Through Friday series. And I am going to kick it off with the books that I love to, like, I would say are my favorite books to color out of, or I've colored the most out of so far. I figured these would be good to start off with, give us a nice variety, which is interesting actually. I didn't think it was going to be this much variety when I first started picking them out. But moving forward, I put a poll on my community tab, and the way I'm going to approach my Flip Through Fridays and going through my coloring book collection, we're going to do the 4 to 5 books, and I'm going to flip through them like I normally would each Friday. So what I need is some feedback from all of you as to how you want me to do that. Do you want me to just pick random books off my shelf each week so you get a variety of authors and styles? Or do you want me to stick to themes? So like one week we'd have all Johanna Basford, or one week we might have all Jade Summer. Well, actually that's probably going to be more like 2 or 3 Flip Through Fridays. We're all color by number or something. So do you like the random variety of Flip Through Fridays? Would you rather see me do themes for the coloring book collection series? So I think the third option is to just start with how I have them set up on my shelves. Start with the first shelf. You'll get some randoms and you'll get some collections groupings. So it really just comes down to what you guys want. Feel free to vote on that tab, or vote on that on the community tab, or leave a comment. And starting next Friday, just whichever wins is the one I'm going to go with. So there may be some Fridays where I do have new books to show, or if like a new release comes out, of course I'll do that, or a Happy Mail, I'll do those on the days or day after I receive them. But we're going to pretty much, I think the series of my coloring book collection is going to go on for a while. So anyway, I figured I would kick it off with the books I've colored the most out of. And I would say this has been from the get-go. So this month is basically my 2-year YouTube anniversary. I've been doing videos for 2 years now, and it's really interesting. As I was looking through these books, even before I started this video, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a couple books I haven't colored in forever. And I was like, these are super cute, and I love these pictures, and I need to color more out of these. So you'll see me do that a lot here. Anyway, these are the books that over 2 years I've colored the most out of, or that I consider like some of the most fun books for me to color out of. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll get started here at the top. Now, one of these you will have seen very recently, and some of these you'll have seen recently as well. You may see them again in the near future for like completed pages, but I wanted to put them all in this video. This first book is a little unique. It is called The Wicked Plants Coloring Book. There is an actual book published by Amy Stewart and Briony, Morrow-Cribbs, that is titled Wicked Plants, but this is the coloring book version. I believe there is a coloring book version of this with a different cover as well. I purchased this from Book Outlet, so I think my cover looks a little different than maybe what's out there right now on Amazon. I don't know if Book Outlet still has this. If Book Outlet has any of these books, or I think this would be the only one. Yeah. I'll link to it in the description. Anyway, there are 40 pages in this. This is a little bit smaller than the 8.5 by 11 standard size coloring books. Basically, these are all like plants that could give you a bad time, right? Like, these all have, like, either poisonous side effects, or, like, they're hallucinogens, or there's something up with these plants, right? And, I'm not into really, I guess, extreme horror genre, but I am into kind of wacky dark stuff. And so to me, this is perfect. This is pretty much right up my alley. So this book, let me just open it up. I'm not sure what the paper is, but it is a super smooth paper. It is not Amazon printed as far as I can tell. So here is the main page. You've got a nameplate page, and your copyright stuff's over there. So here is an introduction by Amy Stewart that talks about the different plants in this book, and it says, "It's not my intention to scare people away from the outdoors. Quite the opposite is true. I think we all benefit from spending more time in nature, but we should also understand its power. Plants can nourish and heal, but they can also destroy. Some of the plants collected here have quite a scandalous history. A weed killed Abraham Lincoln's mother. A flowering bulb sickened members of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Poison hemlock killed Socrates, and the most wicked weed of all, tobacco, has claimed 90 million lives." So, a stimulating little bush in Colombia and Bolivia called, erythroxylum has fueled a global drug war, and Elbor was used by the ancient Greeks in one of the earliest instances of chemical warfare. So, like, this is a type of dark history. It's just completely, this is my jam, y'all. This is my dark villainous side of me, I guess. Anyway, let me zoom in. If you want to, obviously you can pause and read that, but I'm not going to read all of it. So, the drawings and text included in this coloring book are selected from Wicked Plants, the weed that killed Lincoln's mother, and other botanical atrocities. To meet the rest of the plants, read more stories, and see artist Briony Morrow-Cribbs' beautiful copperplate etching illustrations. I hope you'll look for the actual book. I kind of want the actual book, I'm not going to lie. So, I have started coloring this. Now, I don't have a ton of pages colored in this yet, but I love this book. Like I said, it's unique, it's different in my collection. I'm also using my Black Widow pencils to color in it, because of course I would, right? So I'm actually using colored pencils in this, because they are kind of one-sided, but they have the description for the other plant on the other, and I don't really want to mark over those. So each of these has the plant name, and then has the information about the plant on the other side. So we have aconite, I guess, and then it actually has like the official scientific name of the plant as well. So we have that one. Now these are the only 4 that I've colored, and like I said, I could go really wacky with the colors on these, but I have actually been trying to keep true to the colors of the plants, like I've Googled them. Just personally, that's what I want to do with this one. So like this one's just all greens, but I'm okay with that. And this is the next one I've got. I've actually already got the pencils pulled for it. I just hadn't started it yet. I think, you know, you've got, the problem is with my Black Widow pencils is my greens are going to disappear before anything else, for obvious reasons, because these are plants. But I think these are red, so it's a combination of reds and greens for the castor bean. This is where they get castor oil from. It's used as a laxative and externally to relieve sore muscles. The castor oil is. Anyway, here are some of the other pages. These are the ones I have to look forward to. Deadly Nightshade. Ooh, that one's gonna be fun. Y'all are all like, man, you are weird. Habanero chili. I do not know how to pronounce that word. Oh gosh. Anyway, basically you eat one of these, the active ingredient does not dissolve in water, so trying to put out the the burning in your mouth with water is not going to work, but it will bind to a fat like butter, milk, or cheese. A good stiff drink is also in order as the alcohol works as a solvent. And this tells you like the plant family, habitat, native to, and then like the common names and stuff too. Anyway, super cool. You get a little bit of shading with the line art as well. I really kind of want the actual book this is from. I'm going to have to go hunting for that. Killer algae. Well, with a name like Killer Algae, you just know it's not going to be a good one. Yeah, she's right. Like, the more I look at these, more I'm like, I don't know if I want to leave the house. Mandrake. Hannibal used the powerful sedative as chemical warfare, retreating from the city of Carthage and leaving behind a feast that included a mandrake wine. The African warriors drank and slept, only to be ambushed and killed when Hannibal's troops returned. See, y'all are learning today. It's not just, here's marijuana. It's not just, coloring books. This is also an educational channel. I did go get my teaching license. Here's the poppy, the opium poppy, which, you know, it was used in a medication called laudanum in the 17th century, but the drug company Bayer introduced the most popular extract in 1898 in a new product, heroin, sold as a cough syrup for children and adults. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look at how to label this video. I'm not advocating it. It's history, y'all. Here's a peacock flower. Look at that. Had no idea that there was a peacock flower. Peyote, cactus. Oh, it also has little labels like destructive and deadly. Ratbane is evidently deadly. Anyway, these aren't really super complex drawings or anything. So this is, I mean, a relatively quick book to color, but it's different. It's super fun. Strychnine was the poison of choice of the 19th century serial killer Dr. Thomas Nail Cream, who would slip the powdered seed into his victims' drinks, eventually leading to his arrest. By the age of 42, he was tried, convicted, and hanged. The suicide tree? That doesn't sound good. We've got tobacco. Blue-green algae. Toxic blue-green algae. Anyway. This is just so different. God, that thing looks... It says painful. Yeah, no kidding. It looks painful. Like, if I saw that, I just can't see any sort of logic in my brain that would make me want to actually reach out and, like, touch that thing. Oh, you can draw your own plant. Oh, you got a couple of these. That would be cool. And then you got a little excerpt about Amy Stewart and Briony Morrow-Cribbs. Right here. There you go. Like I said, super cool, something different. Amy Stewart actually apparently has a number of books out there. We have Wicked Plants, is the one I think I've got to look up. Wicked Bugs, yeah, no, negative. Don't want to look at the bugs. I don't want to color bugs. It says, I see the zombie-like emerald cockroach wasp. That is all I needed to know. I didn't even need to know that existed. The Drunken Botanist, the plants that create the world's great drinks, and the Earth Moved on the remarkable achievements of earthworms. So, super cool. Like I said, just, it's different. I just dig it. I really do. I don't know why that makes me so happy. Anyway, this one may look a little more familiar. I spent a lot of time on, like, you can tell I love these books, because you can just, I'm going to talk a lot more about these books than I normally would, which is probably going to piss some people off, but whatever. That's why I put, that's what a mute button's for, and that's why I put the time stamps in the description, so that you guys can jump to what you want to see. Out of all the Johanna Basford books, this seems to be my favorite one. I didn't know that starting out. That's just how it wound up. I believe I bought another copy of this from Book Outlet. They may still have them. Do know that if you get books from Book Outlet sometimes, especially if you get the cheaper scratch and dent versions they have, they can sometimes have rips in them, weird little marks. You can see this cover here is, you can flip it open and it is matte, so you can color it. You can see there's like, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a line going through here. There's usually, I've had marks like on the outsides of the books. I've been pretty lucky with the books I've gotten from Book Outlet. I haven't had any major issues with them, but other people have, so just keep that in mind. It's like any other type of outlet store. It may be overstocked. There may be something slightly off about the books. Oftentimes if I get like a slight rip or something in the cover, it does not affect the book overall. I've gotten more damaged books from Amazon than I have Book Outlet at this point. So, but I've been lucky. So the Johanna Basford books are definitely wider than these are differently shaped. They're kind of wider than they are taller. Not 8.5 by 11. They are wider than a typical 8.5 by 11. You can see I was trying out some different stuff here. I don't even remember what I was trying out, but I wasn't real happy with it, so I kind of stopped. One of these days I'll go back and fix it. So, like I said, this is probably going to be super familiar to most people. This was when I was actually labeling my coloring. This was May of 2018. I used, first off, I used, was it gesso? I think I used gesso on the page. Yeah, it was liquid gesso on the page so that it would stand up a little bit better to like the Tombos that I was using. So I used Tombos for most of this, and then gel pen for the rest. I did just straight Tombow blending on here over the gesso, but I also had a separate palette where I used like some water with it for different things too. I love this. I do. I look back at it and again I was like, this is so cool. Why don't I do this stuff anymore? And I remember having a lot of fun doing this page. I don't know, guys. Anyway, love how that one turned out. Whoop. Jumping ahead. Make sure I get all this. Yeah. So this was one of my pictures from April. I used the Crayola Twistable 50 count. They don't have color names on them. So I just kind of did a little bit of blending to see if they would work, but for the most part I straight colored. Love how it turned out. Did some chalk on the background as well. I think over time, so this paper isn't like white. I think it's, I don't know if it's just over time or just the way it was published. This is more of like a creamy white rather an off-white than like an actual white paper. So just keep that in mind as well. Y'all are going to get to see the ones I've done. Yes, I know I haven't done the one with the tiger yet. That's surprising. So over time this kind of turned into a tester for my pencils, as y'all seen. These were the Lelix 60 count pencils. And these were the Crazy Art Timeless Creation ones. I think I liked how the Crazy Art ones did in here a little better than I like Blue Lips ones. So for like the $10 range of pencils, I preferred the Timeless Creations, but to be honest, my wrist really preferred the Twistables. Now, one thing, I do a lot of heavy pressure when I color. We've noted that. And I can see some of the lines and stuff that kind of show through because I've done that. But once I color these other pages, we'll see, hopefully, coloring the other pages, it'll just negate that and you won't see it. So I do really like these ones with the bamboo type borders. That would be a fun one to do with the Tombos, like I did the other page. That's what I was saying. Some of these books that I don't get out very often, like I get them out and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I want to do this page and this one and that one. I've done quite a few in World of Flowers too, now that I think about it, but this one I think beats it for now. One of these days I'm going to try some of these other double-sided pages as well. Plus I like the ones with the little houses and stuff. I think as I continue to try out pencils and get more used to them, I will go in this book more. You can see the lines right here from this other one. So this is the one I just did this week that we saw. This was the Castle Art pencils as well. I think out of all of them, I like the Castle Art ones the best so far. But definitely in here, I would use gel pens, pencils. The Tombos worked, like, let me flip back here. Sorry. The Tombos worked really well here. I had a light touch with them, but you can't see them at all on the other side. And I think the gesso also helped with that, so. But no markers in this one. So this was a challenge. I had been doing some challenges. Wow, this is all way back in April of 2 years. This is way past 2 years. Not way past, but it was past 2 years ago. It was a challenge where you like use the opposite color for things. So I saw this bottle and I thought instead of green leaves and a gray elephant, we'll do gray leaves and a green elephant. So I used, this was all Prismas. I used like every French gray, cool gray, warm gray on all the leaves, and then added in a little bit of gel pen in some different areas. Did some chalk for the background and then some little white dots. I think they're white dots. Wow, those have kind of faded over time, haven't they? Anyway, I thought it turned out really cute. Now this side you can see my boo-boo. First off, I used, and I had done this page before I did this one, so I knew I could get away with using, I used a little bit, ooh, wow, the pages are starting to come out. You can see I broke down and used a little bit of marker on a couple of those areas because I'd already done this side and I had totally screwed this up trying to do something, and I got mad and I just said screw it. So, and now the spine's starting to come apart right there. So I'll have to remember that. I think that is the last page I've done in this one. But I would say after this, World of Flowers is probably the one I've done the most in. I think I did the title page in Enchanted, what's it called? Where'd it go? Enchanted Forest. I've done one in Lost Ocean. I think I've done one in Johanna's Christmas. I've not done one in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly though. I need to do a page in that. So this gives you the key to where everything's hidden, You notice I was playing around a little bit with stuff back here, just to see what might bleed through. This is definitely a well thumbed through book. This is a color palette test page. There's another, some one-sided images here in the back, which is super cool. Might be a good place to bust out some markers. And then here's the back cover. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a long video. Sorry about that. Just like I said, you're getting my well-loved books, so I guess I'm more enthusiastic about them than I mean, I'm enthusiastic about all my books, but these are the ones I go to the most. So you've also seen this one a lot of times on the channel. I don't know, I think I had a completed one in here for April or May. This Floral Design color by number coloring book, this is definitely my most heavily used Creative Haven book, and my most heavily used, well, maybe not anymore. I was going to say color by number book, but that may be different now. This is by Jessica Mazurkiewicz. This is my best budget, this is my favorite budget book too, because I got it for just $1 at Ollie's, and these are normally $10, so I love that. That makes me so happy. That was that wonderful summer of 2018 when Ollie's was selling all kinds of Creative Haven books for $1. That was good times, y'all. 8.5 by 11 book. The color by number Creative Haven designs have 46 images. So the cover's gotten marked up a bit, as you can tell. I did try to do a little bit of labeling at one point, but yeah. I like using different markers. If I use the same markers for every page, I get kind of bored with it. Here's the copyright page, a little bit of a description. And then I was just doing random pictures, the first few ones, and then I'm like, let me just start at the front and go from there. So this is all marker work. Definitely put a blotter page behind these pages if you're using markers, as you can see. And I'll show you in a minute what happens when you don't do that. You can see the pink here is actually starting to fade a bit. I had that happen in another book, like this weird kind of brownish toned pink. I've had that happen in other books as well. I wonder which marker that was. I've used all kinds of stuff in here. Tend to, wow, that's kind of yellowed a bit there with the pink. I found that on this paper, the budget-friendly markers tend to not be as streaky, like where I've used Prismacolor and stuff. I have to almost continuously go over it, or else it looks a little streaky on the paper. I think maybe because it's so smooth. But like your Sharpies and Bic markings and stuff, I tend to have more success. Now here is where a page accidentally, I guess, got moved or something, and I had some bleed through. I just went ahead and colored it. I was like, I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna finish this book, y'all. Anyway, I love this book. Don't love every page. You know, I come to some pages and I'm like, yeah, I want to take a break for a while. I don't really want to color that page. I could skip it, but I like this one. I like the purples and greens a lot. Shuttle Arts seem to do pretty good on these too. I love this page. Like I said, the purples and the blues and greens and those dark pinks make me really happy. I'm usually a pansy person, but I'm not a huge fan of that page. I did like this one. I don't normally like pinks, but I think I used just Shuttle Arts for this one, and I liked it a lot. But look here, like, it's already looks like it's trying to fade or do something funky right there, and I just finished this page a few weeks ago. That's really bizarre. Okay, so this is the next one up. And some of these are really intricate, like this one, you know, sometimes I'll sit down and just work on the background and get that done, and then just do it in pieces. Like, I don't necessarily do all these at once. So I think from here on out, I'm going to, on the back of the page, maybe in pencil or something, just put down what markers I use. So if I do have some fading like that in the future, I'll know which markers that was, because I don't really blame the paper for that. I've colored in a lot of Creative Haven books over the years, and I don't see that issue across the board like with the paper, so I'm leaning more towards the markers maybe being the issue there. Plus, I've seen that happen in other books too. So anyway, this is a lot of fun. Like I said, it's going to take me, I didn't have any goal to finish this year because I just knew how many pages was in this book, and I was like, no, there's no way. No way I'm going to get this one done this year. If I did like 2 pages a month, I still wouldn't be done. So I love it, but I don't love it enough to be like coloring in it once a week or anything. Usually 1-2 pictures a month. I'm pretty cool with. So maybe next year. Like I said, it is definitely my favorite, one of my favorite color by number books, because there's some complexity. It's I'd say mid complexity when it comes to color by numbers. The numbers are kind of gray. They're medium-sized numbers, so I can color it in the living room with minimum effort on the numbers, except for like the really small spaces. So now you'll see a couple colored back here too. That was where I was just doing random pages to start with. That one's gonna be pretty. I don't know, I might just start skipping around pages again or something. It doesn't have to be front and back. My brain just needs to let that concept go. If I want to, that's fine, but if I don't, then that's fine too. The Creative Haven pages, of course, as you can see, are one side, but they're also perforated. You can see that right there. So there is one I did. And then here is the other. And that finishes us out. You can see the front and back covers do have thumbnails of the completed pictures. And then you've got your legend here on the front. So, like my other color by number books, I don't know why I haven't created my own legend so I could just kind of stick it in the book like I do the George Tufexis ones, but I just hadn't done it yet. Now, when I said the most I've colored out of, we get to this one. I think this one is now the new front runner for most colored in color by number book. This is World of Mice large print color by number. This is by Sunlife Drawing. By far my favorite of their large print color by number books. I have 2 others. One is Little Witches, which I do love, and the other one is their Christmas one. This is the only one I have that's not seasonal. This only has the 12 color palette instead of the 24. Is it 24 or is it 23? I think it's 24. No, 22, excuse me. It's a 22 palette. A 22 color palette's their full palette. The 12 is half, and it's always the same color setup. Like, I'm really to the point that I can look at the number and I already know what color it is by now. This is a well-loved book. I particularly love the large print ones because they're easy on my pitiful eyes in the living room. They're easy to see and color while I'm watching TV. So these are roughly letter size, single-sided pages, Amazon printed paper. No, I've not done the nameplate page. Would that? Well, anybody wants to penalize me for something, then so be it. But anyway, my goal is to have this one done by next month, and I think I know which picture I'm going to end on. So this one I am also, hang on a tick. For some reason this paper is really kind of shiny with the markers, so we're going to do that so it's not quite as reflective. There is a, I don't know if there's just a line art version, but I know there is a mosaic version of this. I didn't want to color the same image twice, even if the mosaic is different looking, so I just had to make a decision. And I'm happy with this. I really am. I think I colored this one with Prismacolor markers. This is the very first picture I colored in the book, like right after I got it. But I am really close. I think I've got 4 or 5 pictures left to color. And this will be my first officially completed coloring book. There are 30 pictures in this one. And as you can see, I did use different color markers for some of these. Some of them I was just lazy and used the same markers. I burned through a lot of markers in this book, let me tell you. Amazon paper is very thirsty paper, so keep that in mind if you're using markers in an Amazon book. And of course, you don't have to use the colors that they specify. I do like this one a lot. I like all the pictures in here. I do have a few favorites though. I like this one. After I finish this one, I'm going to have to determine which one's going to be my next book to work on. I'm leaning towards the Little Fairies mosaic one. The numbers are smaller. See how large these numbers are? These are just great. If you really don't want to like work your eyes too hard and you don't have a strong light next to you when you're coloring, I think these are really good books for that. I love this one, but again, I had a situation where a page moved and I had some bleed through I tried to fix. You can hardly notice it, but of course I still see it. I love the cat one. I like this one a lot. I really like this one. I like the blue I picked for the light blue there. So I've been working front to back in here. But I did skip over this next one. My goal is to have this done in July, and I believe somebody, at least one person, is going to do a halfway to Christmas or like Christmas in July color tag. So I want to save this one for that. That'll probably be the very last picture I do in this book. So. And I've made a couple oopsies along the way. I've had markers run out on me, and I've had to get creative with that, but so far, so good. See, I really haven't had any issues with any marker spading on me in this one. So that's been really nice. I like this one a lot, too. I think the ones with just a big variety of colors. So this is the one I finished last night. And, most of these will be on Instagram. You can see, I think I've used, I don't know if I've used this for the entire book, but it almost looks like an art piece in of itself, like my blotter page. So this is the next one I got. Probably work on tonight. And we're gonna get there. I wish I'd realized there was a Halloween one in here. I would have done that last month for John's, the Bibliophile Colorist halfway to Halloween. But, oh well. I think that one's going to be a fun one when it's done. And that's the last one. So I have, counting the Christmas picture, 4 more? 5 more? I have 5 more. And this will be the first book that I've actually colored all the regular images. Here's the thank you page and their social information for Sunlife Drawing. They do have a free page from the Mosaic book. I don't know. For the heck of it, I might just do that page too. That's the only one they've got in here, and then they've got some blank pages, so. Told y'all, I just personally, like this page, I don't think I'm going to color that background. I'll just put my name on it and call it a day. So this one, probably hadn't seen in a while. Those of you who've been around since the start, I referenced this book a lot in the beginning when I first started coloring, and then I've gotten off track with other books. And as I was looking through it, I was like, I need to color in this again. This is Baby Dragons by Jade Summer, 8.5 by 11, Amazon printed paper, black backing. There's 25 unique images and 2 copies of each image. This book is adorable. I'm not big on coloring dragons, but this one in particular, I love. This is where I was testing out some different stuff. You can tell the ones I color in a lot, like all the non-coloring pages have like weird random scrap things on them. They're well loved, I guess. Here's some cute little thumbnails. All the different ones, and then we get started. I have not colored the main image. I need to do that. I've done a fair amount of the first 25 images. This one is one I did when I first started. This was, May of 2018, and to this day I still love this one. I used my Cali Art markers in it, and he is just so cute, and he is like, if I was a dragon, this would be me. Like, he is adorable. It was marker and glitter gel pen. And even after 2 years, there's still a fair amount of sparkle to it. So, I'm not sure which gel pens I use. It was just random gel pens. This one was a live stream. I did marker, and then I did a really heavy layer of, I think, Prismacolor pencil over it. It's cute. It's not my favorite. Also did some gel pen in there. This one I did on camera too. I think this is while I was doing my carefree coloring. Tried to do some white. I was having a lot of trouble with my white gel pen actually putting out like enough to cover the background. So I tried to do some stars, didn't have much luck. I think I used a Crayola Twistable for the moon. Markers, and then like a metallic gel pen there for the castle itself and his sword. And these were just markers. When it comes to fantasy, I always try to color unique ones. This one, as much as I love the little like dessert dragon, this was one of my this is one of my proudest pictures right here. I think it was marker, and then I used it might have just been Crayola pencils over it. And this is where I was like getting really serious about shadows and light, and it turned out adorable. This picture makes me so happy. I need to cut this picture out and put it on my wall. It just makes me so happy. That's what I was saying as I look through these books, and I'm like, oh yeah, that picture. I love that picture. And then it gets me to want to color in this again. I still haven't done this one for Halloween yet. I think I was running out of one of my markers on this one. So as you can see, I still have quite a few to do in this one. And that's only the first set. I have no idea, like, I don't know if I want to do the second set a different way, or maybe just gift it to somebody. I don't know yet. But this is marker, and then I think I used a metallic Bic marker for the leaves. It was alright. Wasn't really what I wanted. Oh, and I think I tried to use some pastel in the background, and I didn't really know what I was doing. It turned out alright. I like the double-headed little dragon, though. That was fun. I don't know. I might do a picture in this one next. That's what I want to be doing right now. And here starts the second group of images. Let me flip to the back. This is an old school Jade Summer book, so it actually has where they used to have digital versions, so I want you guys to see that code. Not that if it's any good anymore, but here's some information they have. Like I said, this was printed in 2018, so they've really changed how they do the back part of their books. They do look like they have one of their sample pages. So that is Baby Dragons. And finally, we come to Costume Cats, which again is another book that y'all haven't seen for a long time, just because I haven't been coloring with it on camera. And actually, I hadn't colored in it in a while. So yeah, this is another book I was looking at. I was like, why haven't I colored in this book lately? So this is another Jade Summer book. This was in 2018. This is where I was actually labeling these. Marker and Prismacolor pencils. This was October 2018. I guess I should leave that there. Anyway, I'm not sure which marker, but you can see the Prismacolor pencils a little bit on the shading. So I think at one point I decided I was going to go front to back on this one. Looks like I've got pencil in the background, maybe. I know I used a Crayola marker here, and I got really upset with the super tip because the water-based markers end up against this rough paper do not work well for me, and so I had a lot of problem with the Jade Summer Amazon type paper with it pilling and damaging the paper. So I learned to just kind of stick with alcohol markers from then on out. So, and then I use a little bit of gel pen on the leaves and such. And that one was just flat out marker. They ain't all winners, y'all. I think I used just Shuttle Arts on this one. This one I know I did on camera. And we did markers and a little bit of gel pen on his buckle and stuff. And then I did this one off camera. I did all gel, I think it was all glitter gel pen. Or I probably used stickles on her dress. Look at that. Even after, I can't remember when I did this, but after all this time, it's still pretty good sparkle. Looks like there was a little bit of bleed right there. It's a shame. And then I think I did this one on camera. I was trying to do fur with a marker, and it did alright. Did a little bit of trying to blend a little bit here, and like I said, did pretty good, but this was pretty early on too. So I think we're up to her. She looks like a lot of fun. Is this 25? I think it's 25 images again. We'll find out. I love this one. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a problem with, this is one of the good things about going back through my collection, is that I'm finding books that I've kind of forgotten about. This looks really weird. Like, they're almost like copy and paste cats back here. So, like, all these eyes just staring at him. Looks a bit creepy. I don't know any cat that would be willingly using mushrooms and broccoli in his cooking. Oh my gosh. That one's cute too. I forgot about that one for sure. Dr. Cat. I like that these ones don't have like super complex backgrounds to them. That's one of the reasons I like this one a lot. If I just want something, I always want something fun to color, but if I want something where I'm not having to put in a lot of complex marker work or gel pen work, that also makes me happy. Makes me think of the kids on those little rides outside like the grocery store. She looks fun. thumbnails of other books right here. And then we start, oh, it also shows cute animals and chibi girls, and then we start our second set. So yeah, it's 25 images, I'm assuming. Yeah. Alright, so there we go. A little bit longer than most of my Flip Through Fridays, but as you can see, I'm pretty darn enthusiastic about these books. And you will probably, if you follow me on Instagram, see a picture from one of the Jade Summer books, or the Wicked Plants book, probably sometime in the next week, so don't be surprised there. Anyway, if you do have a preference on how I go through my coloring book collection, be sure to vote in that post on the community tab. I'm not sure if I'll post anything during the weekend. To be honest, it's been a busy week. I am pretty tired. It may do me the best to just rest this weekend. We'll just wait and see how things come to be on Saturday and Sunday. But I hope everyone else has a lovely weekend, and bye for now.